Welcome to the Third Thursday podcast, where we hope to connect, encourage, and equip student ministry leaders of today. Hosted by Ben McEntee, this podcast is brought to you by the Rocky Mountain District of the Christian and Missionary Alliance. You can listen to us on all major podcast platforms, so don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to help others be connected, encouraged, and equipped to reach students with the gospel. Now let's dive in. Here's your host, Ben.
All right, so I'm going to open up this. This is a high chew. You ever had one of these high chews?
I have had a high chew.
I just want to get this sound on mic because this is good. No, I
think your filter's too good. I don't hear anything.
You're not hearing anything.
Nothing.
No. I just want more. I just want the listener to hear the high chew that I'm chewing. But now
it's a total fail.
No,
I can't hear anything.
It is. But this is my shirt this morning. I have all women in my house, and my shirt was just covered in woman long hair because I have all these ladies with long, and I was picking. Do you ever have this problem in your house?
No, keep going though. It sounds really interesting.
Hey, wait, hold on. We're recording this. I got. Hold on. I got to chew this down. Wait 1 second. Okay, all right.
You can't spell a high chew. Those are like $12 a thing, man.
Are they? But for like a big bag.
No, they're not.
Go to Costco, get one of these, toss them out to kids. It's always works. Hey, hello. Welcome to the Third Thursday podcast. This is the podcast for the peoples. And by the peoples, I mean you, the peoples. Yeah, all the lovable youth workers, youth pastors, folks that serve young people week in and week out. For Jesus, that's who I'm talking about. I am your host, Ben McEntee, and I'm here with my co-host, the boots to my backpack, your friend and mine, Chris Tweedy of the RMD of the C&MA. Hello, Chris. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Do you like high chews or high chews? How do you feel about high chews?
No, I'm pro high chew. Yeah, for sure. We're definitely on the high chew bandwagon at our house, for sure.
Yeah, I love it. I enjoy a high chew from time to time, and it's good. Hey, Chris, we are back. We took a little break this summer as we focused on Life Conference, and that's what we're going to talk about today is just Life Conference takeaways, and I'm excited to dive into that. For all the people that went to Life Conference, we're hoping that you've had an opportunity to just deep dive into your experience there and glean and think about what the future looks like. That's what we're going to kind of be looking at and discussing. And for those who didn't get to go to Life Conference, here's an opportunity to learn about some things that took place and then consider, hey, maybe in 3 years, this is something that I want to do. So we're looking forward to that conversation. But first, I have a question. We're just going to, now this is an old question that we used to do in youth group, and I don't even know if you can do this anymore, but this was the question, and here it is. We'll edit this out, okay, if need be. But Chris, when it comes to toilet paper, are you a folder, a roller, or a crinkler?
Yeah, you're right. That's not a very good question. No.
Listen, but
I never even thought about this, to be honest with you.
Okay, but hold on. But there is, so because we would do four corners, and it was folder, crinkler, folder, roller, crinkler, and then boulderer. Because when I was when I was a little kid, I was a boulderer, and I learned that is not appropriate. Don't be a boulderer. Yeah. But I'm a folder.
Yeah, probably. I'm not, now you're making me think through process.
Come on, I know.
I don't even know.
Now you're either some people are rolling it.
I'm probably toilet paper fluid. I would say. I don't know that I subscribe to one.
Yeah, he doesn't want to say it.
This is non-binary. Listen, on, man.
Now, our producer, Lindsay, is going to edit this out if necessary, but I feel this should stay in. So if I'm talking and you hear this, then you'll know that it was kept in, because I think it should go in. Now, folding is it. Now, so anyway, but that's...
probably. I'm probably there. I'll tell you what, though. I'm never going to ask anyone or fight them about this. I'll tell you that.
No, Well, no, I'm a firm believer in folding.
Yeah,
Firm believer. As I eat another high chew. Do you want to talk more about toilet paper while I eat a high chew?
You're going to eat another high chew and just leave me on the toilet paper plateau here. Be like, hey, why don't you talk about that for another 10 minutes?
We're done. Hey, listen, you figure it out if that is, I mean, we that was a question we would ask
that's a great
in the 90s and early. I think it is a good youth
and like
question.
If you have, especially it's a junior high boy youth group question.
Junior high boy youth group question is gonna sell. That is gonna roll. Very good. Well, listen, whatever you are in regards to if you toilet paper flowing, that's great. No, that's terrible. All right. I like it. So hey, here's the point. Use toilet paper. It's good. It's your friend.
It's true.
Your friend. And I'm happy about it.
We are also pro toilet paper here on
we are
the Third Thursday podcast.
We are very pro.
And we're not being sponsored to say that, by the way. There's no, this is from our hearts.
We are not sponsored. We're not even sponsored by High Chew, but hey, High Chew people, we'll take your money.
We'll entertain any offer for sponsorship. We're not saying we'll commit to every offer, but I mean, you can always throw them our way. So,
Exactly. Yeah. I love it. Well, enough of our shenanigans. Let's get into the conversation for today. Life Conference takeaways. Just some basic stuff. Life Conference was the beginning of July in Indianapolis, Indiana. I took a group of students and leaders and people from all over the C&MA family, all over the U.S. and beyond. Brought young people in. What was the total number or approximate? Chris, do you remember what that number was?
So the number I got was 5601, which seems very precise, but that's total registrants. So that includes sponsors as well as students. I think there were about 4,200 students and about 1,400 sponsors, and then some speakers and some different things. So yeah, it was about 5,600 in the room once we all got there.
So good. And it was a great event. Had a wonderful time. So let's just get into it. Let's just talk about Life Conference experience. What some general takeaways? What were some of the good things that we saw? And for me, for our students, and really just things that we gleaned from our young people or that I saw. And one that you and I, Chris, talked about was just the energy and the fun and the excitement of the whole thing was so good. And I loved it from activities, even to worship and just they had, hype things, which I don't even use that word myself because I'm old and that's just not my lingo, but just getting the excitement and young people together and just jumping around and bouncing around and just enjoying one another and having fun. That was so good because sometimes people look at and go, Christianity, it's a boring thing, whatever. And to make it fun and make it exciting and making it passionate. And again, we're not just talking about like emotionalism. We're talking about just really enjoying one another. And that was really, really cool to see. I thought Life Conference did that so well. And I was just thankful for that experience. And our young people just got to enjoy, Yeah.
Yeah, no, and that's an important part of any youth ministry, like, whether you're trying to get the wiggles out or whatever, but just, like students have a lot of energy and there's a lot going on in their lives and their bodies, and they're just kind of squirrely. And so to have those times, like we all do youth group where there's games and stuff. We do those not only for fun and relationship, but to, it's just there, like it's going to happen. So you might as well lean into it, kind of a thing. And I agree. They were really intentional about that. And I would say too, one of the things that struck me, and Ben, you and I were at a conference too, where this was similar, was like even down to the volunteers. Like one of the lessons I know we're not getting down to lessons learned yet, because we want to talk about that a little bit, but even just like the volunteers, the security teams, they were good. They were happy. They were engaging. They were joking around with the students. I mean, like it was everything. It wasn't just the stage, but it was the volunteers. It was everything. And that attitude and that ethos was really present. And it was really neat because I remember the first time I took my daughter to something that was large. It was a Christian concert. And we had been church planting at that point. And so, we're like 20 people in our living room. Mm-hmm. And we walk into this concert and she looks around and I still remember she said, "Dad, are all these people Christians?" And just the idea that there would be that many Christians, like in that place was just kind of like, whoa, I had no idea. And I think there's an element of that at Life Conference where you have all these students, like most of them really love the Lord. I mean, some of them are still trying to figure it out, but most of them are really loving the Lord and excited to be there and worshiping. And that's just a really fun environment. And they Life Conference, I've been to several now, and they do that really well. And yeah, not everyone uses the hype word, but if you just replace hype for games, you'll be fine, because it's kind of the same thing. Like, it's like a youth group game.
Yeah.
And they just do that really well. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I got to be with our students kind of in the front area where they were just jumping around, and I'm sitting there, jumping as I can, and just watching them, just and having smiles on their faces, and that there's something there that is so good. I think even in worship times where modern worship, and I love it, I enjoy it, but sometimes it's kind of like, let's get serious, and from the mouths of babes, let's just worship. And I enjoy that, certainly, but there is that part for young people. I would never call my students children, but I mean, as people under 18, young people, like, be a child, like, enjoy that, just to have fun and going, we can worship the Lord and be jumping up and just living and enjoying and experiencing that. Well, I think together, that's really, really cool.
We were talking about this yesterday, just in kind of batting around some ideas. Like, we sang Pharaoh, Pharaoh, like our generation did that. And that's like totally. That's a really silly song too. But there is something, going back to your worship comment, even for like adults, you can't take people right to the solemn, introspective stuff right away. Anyway, like, we enter the courts of the Lord with praise and thanksgiving. And there's this way to enter into worship where I think anyone in any venue that tries to take people right into like this deep, reflective worship, it's just kind of a mistake. And like, regardless of age, the human soul needs to praise and be excited about and be happy about things. And so, that's something that is sometimes easier to do with students, because that's kind of a natural. They just have a lot more energy sometimes than some of the older folks, but it's a good thing to remember for everyone.
And I think what's really cool about like the excitement and the joy and just that fun is the why. Like worshiping the Lord is good.
Yeah.
And it is exciting. It is fun. I mean, it's powerful. There's passion involved, and there should be. And again, like, it's not just blind emotion. Like, I tell my students, you can worship the Lord and you don't have to shut off your brain, but you can do it, and do it exuberantly, because God is big, he's huge, and he's available, and he wants to have a relationship with us. It reminds me of this quote that I heard from Howard Hendricks, which was, and this is kind of hard to parse out, but it's like, if we only had 10% of the doctrine that we have, right? Just 10% of the truths that make us Christians, right? And that we believe, we would be 10%, 10 times more excited about it if we just had that, right? In other words, like, we should be more excited about the truths about what it means to be a Christian and what it means to be a follower of Jesus. Like, and I agree with that. Like, I want there to be more excitement, like, and how do you impart that? This is for a future episode, but how do you impart that just excitement and that joy in young people in regards to their walk with the Lord? I think that's something that I'm really trying to tease out right now. But life did that. I mean, offered that, at least the opportunity to look at that, because my students looked at it and said, "This is different." And my response to that was, "Yeah, that's good. Get outside of your comfort zone." And it took them a couple of sessions, but then they dove in, and it was really refreshing to see. And I think that was encouraging to them.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bit of a concert feel at things like this. And, I hear sometimes people be maybe a little bit frustrated with that, but the other side of it is like, look, this isn't week in and week out. This is once every 3 years. Like, we're not saying this is prescriptive for the whole thing, but you need these seasons of getting away, doing something different. I mean, you know what else we don't do is we don't have 3 worship services a day for 4 days in a row. We also don't do that. Like, there's a lot of things here we're not doing normally. And so those can be some good things. And I do think that joy and excitement and fun is helpful, and Life did that really well. They and in the activity hall with all the games and the dodgeball and the basketball tournament, and they had all kinds of fun stuff there, and it was just really, really well done. So
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. Very, very, very good. So, uh, to our C&MA family who put on life, thank you for bringing that energy and that excitement. It was a pleasure and a joy to see. One thing that was really awesome for my students and for myself personally was they allowed for just great response time, and in that response time I saw students praying for one another in our group like never before. It was powerful. They set specific times up where young people could be prayed for either by leaders, and they had the healing service, a response time that was really powerful for our group, and it culminated in all of our young men in a circle just praying for one another. And I heard students saying this, praying these kinds of prayers. I need to be a better leader. I need to step up. I need to be doing this. Uh, um, I need to be a better example. And our young men were challenged there to step up as leaders. And then the adult leaders, we came in and just encouraged that prayerfully. Like, yes, Lord, may they be leaders. And I'll tell you, youth leader, if you're hearing this, you're going, would I ever come to life, or what would be takeaways? I've seen my young men step up and do it intentionally. We just had a prayer service last week where there was just an open prayer time, and many of our young men were just praying openly. And that's not to say, hey, look what we're doing here. I mean, that was the Lord impressing upon their hearts to step up. And then we got to just see it happen and go, oh, it's incredible. It's incredible that and Life Conference allowed that space to take place where they were out of their comfort zone and they're looking around and they're going, we do need to step up. And some of them really, really took that and prayed for one another. That was really, really powerful.
Yeah. I think another thing that was really neat, there were a ton of seminars. I mean,
Yes.
they really did a good job of not having it so like, oh, there's 4 seminars and they're going to be like standing room only with 1,000 people. I mean, they were really well done with a number of them. Yep. And there was a fair bit of variety. And I just couldn't help but think throughout the week of just thinking, some of these are really challenging students to think about things. Like they go into a seminar with one thought and then something comes at them and it's like, maybe it's outside of their box in a good way. Maybe it's outside of their box in a way that they don't understand, but like there's some opportunity for, and that's not something that a student will typically get in your youth group, be like after they've been with your church and your teaching. Sometimes we get a little insulated and you kind of get into the broader Christian sphere. I mean, you just see this with like, if anyone subscribes to Christianity Today, or you subscribe to any broadly evangelical blogs or podcasts or anything, sometimes you'll hear things and you're like, wait a minute, what? I've never thought about that. And I think that, is kind of a neat aspect of life where there's just a lot of different voices that maybe people aren't hearing. And that's just good, for the development of thinking, like you were talking about, Ben, worship with your mind, like to become a critical thinker when it comes to these things. And so it was kind of nice that it wasn't just all one topic from one perspective, but there was things in there that I think really maybe caused students to think. And I heard of several conversations outside of life where it was like, those led to some good conversations. So
yeah,
that breadth is always there. And we talked about that preparing for a conference, right? There's always things that you're like, oh wow, I never heard that, or I'd never seen that before. So that's a thing that was good about life.
No, absolutely. My favorite breakout was Ken Castor's Grow Down, which I went to, which was great. He takes Colossians 2 verses 6 and 7 and just breaks that down. And just talking about grow deeper in your relationship with the Lord, grow deeper in your relationship with the Lord, and have deeper roots. And a lot of my students, actually, our takeaway, we had our students share, and one of our students got up and basically ran his whole session, like truncated, right? And just said, "This is what it was," and drew the picture of the tree, and then the roots, and did it. And I was like, "Oh, Jackson, you are learning you're remembering what happens, and when you teach it, you actually remember it better." So it's just keeping it in. It was so solid. I was very happy about that. I had students go to the missions one who were feeling called to missions and were very encouraged by that as well. So and the breadth of it was very, very good. I loved it. One thing that I really liked about Life Conference was that anytime my group was together and we were doing something silly and another group saw us, I just told them all that we were from Kentucky. That's what I told them all the time. Was they'd walk by and I would just say, "We're from Kentucky, it's okay." Because for whatever reason, I just chose Kentucky. If you're from Kentucky, I'm sorry, but I just did it. I didn't want to just say we're from Montana, because we just say Kentucky.
If you're listening to this and you're from Kentucky, send us an email and we'll send you a shirt, because we don't have shirts and I'm pretty sure we don't have listeners from Kentucky. So I think we're okay, Ben. I think we're fine.
I think we're going to be fine. But what I want to do though now, actually, for next Live Conference, I just want to make a shirt that just says Live Conference, and then on the back says we're from Kentucky, so that we get a pass. We'll never throw Montana under the bus. We'll throw Kentucky under the bus.
Or switch it around, pick another state. I mean, there's lots to choose from.
No. I'm going full Kentucky.
What did Kentucky ever do to you, Ben?
I don't know. It just sounds right. I'm sorry, Kentuckians.
I don't know.
Kentuckyites?
There is an energy drink out there, I think, that's like, or maybe there's some sort of drink out there that's like a Montucky.
Hold on.
What is that?
Lindsay, you might have to edit this out. This is a beer.
Oh, it is. Oh, see? Okay.
Montucky.
I was thinking it was maybe an energy drink, but it's not. So there you go.
Montucky cold snacks.
Are you mad that they're pushing in onto the name of Montana? Is that where you're
No, I don't mind it. I think cold snacks is one of the funniest phrases. It's cold snacks. Hilarious. Oh, I'm sorry. Now you might have to edit this out too, but do you drink Diet Dr. Pepper?
No.
Or Diet Coke?
Nothing? I don't do Diet anything.
So what I
go big or go home. Don't.
Okay, all right. So Lindsay, you might have to edit this out. They call that those are called fridge cigarettes. That's what.
Oh,
have you ever heard that?
No, I haven't. I've never heard that. That's like, I get it. I might have to use that now.
Yeah, Diet Coke or Diet Dr. Pepper.
Do we even have like an age rating on an Apple podcast?
Is
this child appropriate? Are we 17 plus? Like, I don't even know what they are. Maybe we can get away with fridge cigarettes. I don't know.
Don't tell your
students. Out how many listeners we have today.
How many? Yeah.
This is why we shouldn't take a month off, Ben.
No, I'm liking it. It's good.
Who else was good? Like, who else was one of your favorite speakers though? Like,
So, and I don't remember all there, but Dr. Joel and
Joel Muddamalle, that dude was awesome.
He was solid. And then we talked about it yesterday. The gal
Jada Edwards.
I really enjoyed her.
I don't know much about her, and that's the thing with some of these people. It's like, I'm not necessarily endorsing everything they've ever said, but her talk was really good. Like, I didn't know her from anybody when she got up. I don't follow, the streams she swims in, but like that, her talk was super good. I thought that was a good one as well. Yeah.
I thought President Stumbo, former president. What do you call him now?
Well, when you're a president of the U.S., they still call you president.
So I wonder. Yeah. Okay. So President Stumbo, I thought he did a really nice job of just sharing about the alliance. I really appreciated that. And then I appreciated him and Jonathan Schaefer getting up and sharing.
Yeah.
The gentleman from Ashbury, Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah. And his talk, which I think needed a little bit of correction. And but on the whole, like his talk about healing was so good in the end. It opened up that time for that prayer time where our students were getting around one another and praying. And actually, I think John Stumbo actually got up the next day and gave some correction in regards to that, which I thought was really really nice. I was very thankful for him to do that. Essentially, it was about gifts aren't so certain people have certain gifts and we're going to affirm that, but we love the body of Christ, and there's some different opinions on things. Anyway, that was really, really good.
Did you go to Joshua Becker's?
I didn't.
I didn't this time, but I've heard him speak before. It was really good last time as well. And I think he was doing the same talk or a very similar talk. And so, by the way, listener, the reason we're saying all this is soon we've been told, no pressure, Scott Wakely, that these are going to be online, that they actually recorded all these seminars. So you can go back and you can listen to these for some time. I don't know how long they'll be up, but the main sessions are already up online. But we've been told these are, so all that to say, hey, if you didn't get to go, or if you went and you didn't get to go to something, you can check that out. Those were some of our favorites, just some of the folks that we enjoyed.
Yes, it's good. So, I mean, breakouts were great. Main sessions were good. I mean, okay, real quick. I thought the food was good. I thought the people did well with the meals. Were you? Yeah,
so I thought it was all right. I mean, here's the thing. How can you feed 5,500 people and have it not suck at all? Like, I mean, I thought it was incredible. Like, average in that situation is phenomenal. I did have a few people, especially some of the allergy people, that said it was a little bland, but like, I think they were trying to cook with zero allergens at all, which is basically a plate of air and a cup of water. But I mean, the food was okay. You know what else was kind of like a little silver lining? Because there was there was no pool. And I think that came as a surprise to some people. I think one hotel had a pool. But here's the upside to that. When there have been pools at live conferences in the past, not only do you have like all of the modesty issues that you have to deal with, but there's like the dangerous pool shenanigans that happen. And we didn't have to deal with any of that. No one was jumping off balconies into a pool. It was really nice. That was a beautiful thing.
No one
almost drowned. Bad. Yep. Yeah, like it's kind of one of those things where you're like, your students are like, oh, we're so mad. And as a youth leader, you're like, oh, yeah, me too. I'll say something to someone.
It was hot outside. It was very humidity, but I wasn't super mad about no pools. And the big like activity area was awesome. I wanted to play. So they were playing basketball, and the basketball was getting like really intense. And then I was watching. And then I had a ref shirt, but I forgot a whistle. And I was going to come out one time, but I didn't have a whistle, and just start coming and just reffing the game, just like totally
stepping in and being like, hard. I'm the ref now.
Just doing hard refereeing.
That's funny. Next year. Or
I know.
Life.
I'm doing it. I'm gonna bring a whistle. I'm gonna go in and just be the hardest ref. I'm gonna eject people. Like
you're out of here.
Yes. Or I want to do, because I do love soccer, I want to give like yellow cards and red cards just to random people. Walk up to them and just go and just pull out a red card.
There you go.
And just throw out a card. I don't know. That's where my brain goes. I'm sorry. You know what? Did you know that high chews though contain soybeans?
Everything contains soy. If you're allergic to soy,
you can't eat anything. You're in trouble.
The Lord still loves you, but it's a hard life. I mean,
so there was no soy in the meals at,
I don't think so.
In the dairy or whatever.
It was really, really. So here's another. So life is at Indianapolis again.
Yes.
And I would like to be sponsored by these people because it was amazing. But I found an ice cream shop. Ben, one of my things when I travel is to find good ice cream.
Okay.
And so over right by the Speedway, which is about a 10-minute drive from where we were.
Right.
Fun days. So think of the word Sunday and you just swap out the S for an F.
Okay. Got
Fun
it.
days, ice cream and sweets. I'm telling you, it would be worth an Uber ride for 30 students to get your kids over there next time. It was amazing.
Okay.
So in 3 years, Life 2028, back in Indianapolis, Fun days, ice cream and sweets. Tell them you heard it on the Third Thursday podcast. We expect royalties.
Are they going back? Wait, hold on. Is 2020, is the next one in Indianapolis again?
I think so.
It is?
I don't think this is a secret because I wouldn't
didn't
know it
know.
if it was, but I'm pretty sure it's back there. If it's not, you should take a layover in Indianapolis and get off the plane and go to Fun Days.
And go there. Now, some people went to the Indy
Speedway,
the Speedway,
Mhm.
we didn't do any fun little excursions or whatever. And I mean, we did go to the mall, and the mall in Indianapolis was a mall, and but we had boba.
Mall like a Midwest mall. Come on now.
It was a Midwest mall, and let me tell you, it was good. We did get to tell about Jesus to our Uber drivers, which was pretty fun.
Sweet.
But and good. But speaking of that, like one thing that life brought to our attention was our need for evangelism training for our young people, because they were all the last session. They're like, stand up if you're gonna live for Jesus and tell other people about Jesus, and all of our students did. And so our last night, after that session, we brought everyone together. We're all together, tucked away in a little corner in the hotel lobby, just chatting. And I said, "Hey, we're gonna go around and just say what our takeaways were. One big thing." And I said, "And listen, for this time, I never do this. I rarely do this. Everyone is gonna share." Right. And the reason why everyone is going to share is because you all stood up and said that you will tell people about Jesus. And if you can't talk to this group about Jesus, then you can't talk to people outside about Jesus. You won't be able to do it. You have to be able to do it here. So you're going to do it. And they shared, and it was great. And my takeaway from that was, oh my goodness, my students need evangelism training.
Yeah.
And our fall series, when school starts, we're going to do a series on evangelism. We're going to present like why the gospel matters, and then break that down. One of my thoughts is to on like one of the first sessions, and I'm still brainstorming this out, but get into small groups and then ask the small group to come up with a like 3 to 5 sentence breakdown of how they would describe the gospel. Right. In their own words.
Yeah.
Right. And then take that and then tweak that out. And then in the end, come down with their own phrasing of that, and then go for it. But I mean, evangelism, I think that Life Conference does give students a space to say, you have a call. And for some of them, it was specific to ministry and specific to missions, but everyone has a call. And are you going to go and change the world for Jesus in your specific place? Yeah. And I thought that was really, really cool. And my students gravitated towards that hard.
Yeah, I don't have the numbers yet because Life really tries to track all that stuff. And then I emailed all the group leaders that went. It's somewhere in the neighborhood of a couple of dozen of people responded to a call to ministry or missions. And
in our district.
Right.
Yes.
And more than a couple of those were leaders, actually, that had gone and been like, you know what, I'm supposed to be doing something like this more. And so, we did our preparing for a conference podcast a couple ago. And one of the things was like, hey, this is not just for them, it's for you. And it was kind of a neat thing to see on the backside of Life Conference that there were some adult sponsors that the Lord really spoke to as well. So that was one of the things, and kind of, one of the things we wanted to highlight as we ended is that there was a significant number of students. I think probably I just got really round numbers, but probably most of our groups, we had about 13 churches that went. Most of our groups had students that made some sort of felt a call in that direction. So that's just really exciting. And like, we can celebrate that. That's really awesome.
Absolutely. And that word celebrate, I think, is really, really key, is celebrate those wins. Right. We can get so bogged down in just in ministry, and we got our nose at the grindstone, and we're going. But when those things happen, step back and go, thank you, God, for moving and working, and celebrate that. Now, and how are we going to encourage these young people who feel the call, who feel the tug, who feel God's grabbing them and saying, go and do this? How are we going to encourage them and equip them to go and do that? So I had a few students who were saying missions is where I need to go. And then one asked, what do I need to do to be a missionary? And my statement was, well, start telling people in your peers about Jesus. Just start know the gospel, and start sharing it now. And I
Yeah.
know that's hard. If that's hard now here in your own culture, it's not going to become any easier to in another culture. You gotta do that. So I mean, a big takeaway from this was just that our students were challenged, and life stretched them, and they were encouraged to respond to the Lord in calling, in prayer, in healing, restoration, forgiveness. I mean, I had one student come and say, "I need to be more compassionate towards my peers."
Mm. You're
And
like,
that was
yes, you
real.
do.
Yeah. Hey,
No, but
yes.
but see, that's a thing too, that like the Lord speaks that, and when the Lord speaks it,
Yes,
it's like that's when it hits home, right? So yeah, no, it's good,
absolutely.
and that's what these spaces are good for. You made a note in our notes that I'll just jump to real quick, but you were talking
Hit
about
it.
high water marks versus
Mhm,
mountaintop experiences.
mhm.
Like like we don't live in these places, but they do set these places of remembrance. If you want to use the biblical language, these are these stones of remembrance, these
Yep.
Ebenezer's that are like, hey, something, God spoke something happened, and we come back to those. So that's that's is just another really great natural byproduct, and I'll call it a byproduct because we don't go to these events seeking those things, but inevitably God brings them about. So
Yes,
so
absolutely. The high water marks, they're a pointer. You're
right,
going to come back and you're going to point and go, "What did God do there?"
yeah,
And that's something you can remind your students. Hey, remember life. What did
right.
God do at life? Point them back to that. It was an opportunity for them to be outside of their normal
Yeah.
routine and inviting them to
In,
something more.
in
Yep.
the middle of winter, when your high chews are like as hard as a rock on your dash. See, we're just weaving this in through the whole thing,
I
man.
love
Like,
it. I love it. Where are the high chew people? We want a contract.
all right, Ben. We'll wrap it up with this. One
Do it.
thing that you could say to someone who is considering going to life in 2028. What's the one thing you're going to say?
Go, because it'll challenge and stretch your students, and you'll also see things in your students that you wouldn't normally see in your everyday week in, week out.
Yeah.
It will transform them and transform the way in which you see them.
Yeah.
That's
Good.
what I would say.
So here's what I would say. We've laid out all this positive stuff, and Ben, yours was an invitation in. I'm going to deal with an objection. Here's what I would say to one of the objections that sometimes come out there, and that is like, there's all these people. I don't know who these speakers are, and like, what if something gets said? And I was talking to a youth leader who was in a session where something was said that he was like, I don't know about that. And so afterwards, he asked the student who was with him. He was like, hey, what did you think about this and such? And the student was like, I didn't hear that, but I heard this and this and this. And he started to say all these things that God was speaking to him. And the youth leader, what he's telling me and what I would just share with you is like, God is sovereign over these things. And he was worried that maybe this kid was going to take this comment the wrong way and run with it. And the kid didn't even hear the comment. And it was such a reminder that when we go to these things looking to engage with God, in the midst of it all, God works his way and his will with students. And so I feel like sometimes this is an objection that people have when they go to any event. It's like, what if something negative happens? And it's like, look, you got to trust the sovereignty of God. And that's not to say there was a bunch of this at Live Conference. Don't hear me say that, but I just know that sometimes people are just dubious. They're like, oh, I don't know. And it's like, hey, listen, do you trust the Lord to move or not? And I heard multiple stories like that where people were just blown away at what God spoke to their students. So trust the sovereignty of
Agreed.
God to just meet the students that want to seek him in this. And
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And don't deny God's ability to work through a live conference, and you don't have to like everything about it. That's
yeah,
fine. You don't have to, but God is gonna move. It's true. So thank you. Hey, for all the RMD family that went to life, it was great seeing you and hanging out, and so thankful that we got to be served and ministered to by the Lord together. And I'm looking forward to 2028, wherever it is in Indianapolis. It appears so.
potentially,
Yes.
yeah.
Hey,
Maybe
potentially.
not. Maybe I'm wrong.
That
I don't know.
I'm going to fun days.
Fun days.
I'm
That's
going
right.
to fun days. I'm going to go there like Sundays, but drop the S, add a F. There you go. Awesome. Hey, we're out of here. We're out of here. Hey, Question: how does this affect your leaders, you and your leaders, right? How does this affect your students, and how is God going to be like honored through all of this? Well, think about that in regards to life. It was there. Leaders were impacted, students were impacted, and God was honored through it. So, hey, check out our show notes for additional resources, all that kind of stuff. And we look forward to seeing you and seeing you. We're talking to you.
We don't see you. We do not see you.
You don't see us. This is all audio. But hey, goodbye from everyone here at the Third Thursday podcast. We'll see you next time, next Third Thursday and stuff. Meh.
Thanks for joining us on the Third Thursday podcast. We hope you're leaving feeling connected, encouraged, and better equipped to reach students with the gospel. For more resources, head to rmdcma.com/youth. If this episode was helpful, share it with a friend, and we'll see you next time.